All righty. Are you ready for the match we've all been waiting for, Brian? The second one of night two, the real last one. We've really been waiting for this thing. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the World Heavyweight title, and the soulless Cena versus the very babyface and righteous Cody Rhodes. What did the guys on the motorcycles have to do with Cody? Was Cody a famous motorcycle daredevil in his younger days that we missed?
Cody's really into BMX. He always wanted to be in the movie Rad. I really don't know what it had to do with anything, and then it just kind of abruptly ended, and then the regular Cody entrance happened.
Yes. Yeah, well, first we got Cena first, and he came out lackluster as his heel persona has been doing, and they did the John Cena sucks because it works in the song. And then we saw again guys on motorcycles just running back and forth and doing trick things. And then Cody came up through the stage, and I think it was, I don't know whether they meant to time it like this or somebody jumped something, but the people in the stadium saw Cody standing on the stage before they heard his music start. And I think that got him off on the wrong foot. Because normally you hear the wrestling has more than one royal family and the bum, and that gives them the pop. And then you see him appear, right? They put the Cody before the horse. It was odd. But the fans woed and they sang, and Cody kissed his baby and his wife and his mother and his girlfriend. Everybody was there.
His girlfriend?
Well, the whole family. He didn't want to leave anybody out. Had them all in the front row. And then on the introductions, Cena got a mixed response. Never, they booed him flat out when they first heard the music. Then he got a mixed response on the introduction. Then Cody got the cheers and the boos. Then they got the chant going, "Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks." And then when they rang the bell, the longer it went, the more it became Hulk Hogan and The Rock in Toronto. I mean, not to the, they roasted The Rock over an open fucking fire that night.
No, but this has been coming.
This was not to that level, but it was the WrestleMania audience. It was John Cena, many of them there probably seeing him for the first time live. Nostalgia kicked in, the weird story of the whole thing, and the fact that now that it's the WrestleMania audience, and this is the people who spent the most money and are into this the most, they wanted to see the belt change hands. And so they flipped around as this. The guys took their time. The crowd was loud anyway, and they started slow and worked it. But the more that they did, everything Cena would do would get some kind of reaction, mixed at best, and a lot of times cheers. And when Cody would fire back, it'd be a bit mixed, but more boos.
Yeah, and I think it's more than just people wanting a title change. I think this has been something coming. And we saw it on SmackDown. Again, that's kind of the WrestleMania audience. But the crowd rejected Cody on SmackDown against Cena face-to-face. And I think part of the problem that may have caused this to happen quicker, or at least here, is Cena as a heel pointed out things about Cody that are true. He pointed out that you're a babyface by numbers. You know, he's like heroic for no reason. Like there's no central cause. It's just, I'm a babyface and this is what we do. Like he pointed out all these things that if you stop and think about it, the heel was telling the truth. And then the heel got beat down by the babyface and then the babyface left. I think it's, you know, I'm not saying it's the Charlotte situation and I'm not saying it's what happened to Cody in AEW, but I'm thinking, you know, Cody can't just be the Bob Backlund Mr. Goody Two-Shoes, and the Cena thing kind of brought a lot of that out. And Cody had something when he was chasing the title. People wanted him to finish the story. and he was able to ride that wave into a year as champion, but he hasn't really grown as a character much, if that makes any sense. He hasn't really shown more than, I drink my milk and go to school on time, kids. Like, it's not fleshed out really.
Well, but then the problem becomes it still was a long way from wearing thin, because he's still getting great responses, selling merchandise. Everybody's just loving Cody until he got into this thing. And even then, here's my point. It's still the WrestleMania office. It ain't going to play this way in Peoria. And it was the nostalgia factor and the fact they want to see the title change and etc. But what to me did hurt Cody about this more than the people just booing him because, The Rock survived the Hogan match, etc., etc. The finish is what to me hurt Cody. Because remember when I said earlier, when the heel tries to use a gimmick and the babyface gets given that gimmick and is too pure of heart to fucking give the guy a taste of his own medicine, that people don't like. That's what they did. And I couldn't believe they did it twice the same night. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, though, on this match.
But overall, though, just to finish your point, the finish killed this match. I think the finish overall, the last few minutes, killed the entire event for some people. It
suddenly, this high energy, exciting show suddenly went, and it was just bleh. But they did a good job with the match with laying it out. I think the layout of the match up until the last couple minutes or whatever, the false finishes were great. The execution was probably not as crisp as the layout, because let's face it, John's 50 or whatever he is. But goddamn, he was putting on a clinic for the lip readers too, wasn't he? I could follow right along with the match, just fucking reading John's lips.
That's always been a Cena problem. He used to be really bad on Raw, where you could watch him talk and hear him talk.
And at one point when Cody was firing up, he punched him, and John's again, punch, again. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But nevertheless, they got good false finishes going. There was a lot of attitude adjustments, exchanged. And as they would go back, Cody cutters, and they would go back and forth, and Cody spoiled the first effort at the 5-knuckle shuffle, but then Cena hit it later on, and again trading the attitude adjustments and the Cody cutters, and then Cena got the attitude adjustment and the STFU and got a big pop on that. And he was holding the STF, and he would foil the rope break. Whenever Cody'd get close, he'd drag him back, and it would get a big pop. Like, yeah, drag him back in the middle and hurt him some more. And then Cody kicked Cena off, and they squished the referee in the corner. And the referee was down. And again, the main event finishes, they hit more than they miss here, but goddamn, 2 ref bumps of the same ref. But nevertheless, they bump him the first time. Down he goes. Cody foils the AA into a crossroads. He covers John. There's no referee. The crowd counts to 12. And then Cody goes over to kind of check on the referee. And at that point, Cena pulls the buckle pad off and sidesteps Cody and runs him into the buckle twice and hits the attitude adjustment. And the referee has recovered and down to count 1, 2, kick out. That was great. Then music starts playing, if you can call it that. And here comes Travis Scott out on the stage, fondling his Mark title belt that he's got over his goddamn shoulder. And he just decides to wander down to the ring at a pace I can only assume would be called glacial. Brian, from the first note of his music to the time he got to ringside, it was 1 minute and 50 seconds. And during that time, Cena just had to sit there and look at him, grin like, yeah, here comes my guy. And Cody had to sell. They're doing nothing. There's no motion in the ring for 1 minute and 50 seconds. People been hit by fucking TARC buses and been back on their feet. Why they involve these amateur morons in important shit, I will never know. But this fucking Travis Scott needs to be fucking launched onto the next goddamn spaceship. Put him in orbit for a while.
What percentage of fans at this point in the show, either when the music hit or when Travis Scott was out there, when he got to the ring and when Cody came to, whatever, what percentage you think thought The Rock was coming out?
I thought you were going to say what percentage wanted to see him. I was going to say 0.0007. It didn't sound like, I don't think that anybody thought The Rock was coming out when the music hit, because it wasn't Rock's music. And when they saw him, there may have been some guess, but when he just kept walking and walking and walking, it was like, this is all we're getting and getting and getting. I think it killed the people, because as he got down there, they were like, fuck, he showed up and The Rock didn't. And nobody gives a shit about him. How do you get to be multi-platinum, motherfuckers? It's awful easy to be a multi-platinum. They had 5 multi-platinum people on this fucking show sitting in the front row that were recognized on camera, and you never hear their names anywhere. People, you could scream it in a fucking shopping mall. People, huh? Anyhow, so now, apparently in front of the referee, who's still up, by the way, Cena holds Cody like Travis Scott's going to slap him again. But as he brings him over to the apron of the ring where old Travis Scott is, Cody gives Rock an elbow and grabs at Travis Scott, who jumps down, and then he turns around and Cody hits the crossroads on Cena and covers him. And as the referee goes down to count, Travis Scott pulls the referee out. And the referee face plants, and now he's out again. And again, I've done finishes with 2 referee bumps of 2 different fucking referees. It's just, Jesus Christ, somebody get this man a fucking defibrillator over here. Cody dares Travis Scott to get in the ring. Now, fuck it, I'm wrestling John Cena over here, but this fucking minute thug rapper that nobody's ever heard of, it has fucked up 2 of my matches now. I'm more concerned with getting him to come in the ring. Travis Scott gets in the ring face to face, like he's not scared of Cody, who's 100 pounds bigger and much taller. And Travis Scott swings at him. And Cody blocks it and gives him the crossroads, and then rolls the sack of shit out and turns around. Cena's got the belt. Cena swings the belt, but Cody blocks that and pulls the belt away, and Cena begs off. Puts his hand up, please, Cody, don't. And crouches down, please, I'm begging you, I'm begging you. And Cody's got the belt, and Cena's begging, and when Cena begged off, for just a second there, the people turned back a bit. They went, oh, like he's begging. And they had the germ of something there, but then the germ turned into a fucking virus that infected the whole thing. Cody hesitated, hitting Cena with the belt, and then lowered the belt and turned away like, oh, I can't do it. And that's when Cena football kicked him in the balls and picked up the belt and hit him over the head and got the referee and covered him 1, 2, 3 and got a big pop. Because Cody, who all of this time has mostly prevented himself from looking like just a goddamn goof, the people said, well, fuck. He kicked you in the balls. He said all these things about you. Hit him in the head with the goddamn belt. It doesn't mean that you're a horrible human being. It means that the guy deserved it. This is again, they're using this. The writer's room is trying to use this trope that the babyface couldn't bring himself to do it the wrong way. No, fuck you. If there hadn't been any witnesses, I'd have taken a goddamn hammer. That guy was digging a hole in my front yard a couple weeks ago, and wouldn't felt bad about it at all because he dug a hole in my fucking yard. So if it was just people on the street, I can understand Cody not wanting to hit an innocent person over the head with a blunt instrument. But when it's a guy that turned on him and kicked him in the nuts and said all those bad things about him and wants to take his title and has done a variety of bad things to him here in this match, hit him with the fucking belt. You deserve to lose because you should have hit him with the fucking belt. That's what they did that was wrong with Cody here. He would survive the WrestleMania heavily dedicated nostalgia crowd wanting to see a fucking happening, cheering Cena. That's the thing to do. That's not, but he lost the belt because he just pussed out. I don't think Dusty would have pussed out. I think Dusty would have fucking slapped Baby Doll across the side of the face because she deserved it, that Jezebel.
Well, I don't know about anything with Baby Doll there, but that's been the problem.
I think he did slap Baby Doll across the face one time, now come to think of it.
That's been the problem with this whole thing. After the attack where The Rock and Travis Scott and Cody turned on Cena, gave him a black eye that was visible to everyone, they've had good back and forths that went like 10 minutes as promos, but there hasn't been the right amount of anger. And again, it wasn't about like, I'm going to get you for doing this to me. It was, you can't do this to them. They deserve so much. Cody's coming across like a bullshit politician. And the finish here did not help that. And in fact, it just adds more fire.
They bored him to death waiting for a bag of bones to get to the fucking ring, and then did the one thing that the people would say makes the babyface deserve to lose. Well, he could have beat him, but he didn't, so fuck him. I don't get that. No, I don't get it.
What do you think now, looking back? Obviously, I got a lot of heat at the time for saying that the WWE had a Rock problem and saying that despite the angle being a great moment, it's about where you go and it's about the problems. It's a whole bunch of things that I've been saying about The Rock.
One would think that if The Rock came in with a goddamn idea and that idea was done to The Rock's liking, the way Rock wanted to do it, that he would have been here to fucking finish it. And that lends credence to him wanting to mess with this thing in other ways, and Cody maybe stepping up a little bit and saying no. But so Rock just said, oh, okay, well, Travis will have fun being there, but I got other things to do. He showed up, got himself involved, and then didn't come. That means to me that he wasn't happy with the reception it got or the feedback it got or the way that it was played out or playing out.
Yeah, you can show up for NXT. You can show up for WrestleMania. Fly in for a day. We've had guys who had like roles or concerts or whatever it was where they had to fly in for WrestleMania and then fly right back out. It's been done.
Yeah. But
but instead he got to pin Cody last year, the day before Cody won the world title. So that's his last match, him pinning Cody, and we never got the Rock and Roman. Dwayne Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
And he showed up just to disturb everybody's build to this thing and then wasn't in the rest of it and didn't need to be. So he might as well never been involved at all. That's what I don't understand this. And, maybe they're going to get tired of letting him do this. And I don't know that anybody missed him. Isn't that a shame that you have to be nervous that the biggest wrestling star in the world and one of the biggest movie stars in the world might come and want to be on the fucking show? Oh, goddamn him again.
The next time he comes out there and slaps his arm to show the goosebumps, no one's going to believe it. It was already at a point where barely anyone. And then Punk, the last time we saw Rock, the next day on TV, Punk did an interview saying, "You come out here with your bullshit, you're slapping your arm." We never saw him ever again.
Well, there's a way you can work that. You squirt lemon juice on your taint.
I don't know anything about this. Listen, the other thing is we hear from fans who say, "You guys aren't with it. Travis Scott is a big star. He's had all this success. You know, he fucked a Kardashian, all the things that big stars do nowadays."
Wait a minute. I don't know if that's the definition of success, something that garden variety that happens every day.
Well, I guess that's part of the point here, but it's not the same thing as Dennis Rodman for WCW, let alone Mike Tyson for WWE, or, you know, I feel like it connects more like Lawrence Taylor did. Although it's not necessarily a regional thing, it connects with a portion of the audience maybe, and a whole lot of people don't want him involved in the main event of WrestleMania. And WWE is at a point now, worse than ever before, where they'll embrace any sort of celebrity that wants to be involved. But this Travis Scott stuff hasn't worked. Now, the only thing anyone wants to see is him get a receipt from anyone. They just want to see him in the ring, get speared by Braun Breaker or something.
Yeah, there you go. Because the Crossroads was too easy for this guy to take. The spear from Braun is the...
You know, Dennis Rodman was like 6'9". You know what I mean? Like, he was an athlete. He was a nationally known athlete. It's just, this isn't working.
And even some of them still look awkward when they try to get involved in the wrestling world. Some of them can pull it off and some of them can't. But if an athlete can't do it, a rapper ain't gonna fucking do it. And besides that, again, you know, it may be a celebrity in some genre, but do I want to see Liza Minnelli in the main event of WrestleMania? No. It doesn't. It's just, no.
I mean, look at WrestleMania 1. Mr. T was in the match. Liberace wasn't. You know, like, Vince understood there are certain guys that are right for this and other guys we just want around so people see them.
The parsley on the side of the plate.
They've shoved Travis Scott into this, and you know, a lot of people when the Cena turn happened wondered, is this like the WrestleMania 17 thing? Is this the right move or the wrong move? They have incredible success. They just had that incredibly successful European tour. It does feel like that was a moment where nothing has really connected the right way since.
I hope it's not a WrestleMania 17 moment, but I guess they just did it because Rock promised Travis, yeah, you can do something at WrestleMania, because that way when you hang around with me, we both look cool.
But even if you wanted to use Travis Scott, let's even go with that. He's a nationally known musician and rapper. You want to do something with him. The Rock didn't need to be there for the Cena turn. It didn't need to be about The Rock. And especially because you have to question if The Rock's ever going to work a match again. So it's not like Cody is guaranteed a big win over The Rock to overcome all these obstacles, all these things that have happened.
Couldn't somehow Cody have run afoul of Travis Scott and there'd been a personal issue? Did Rock just have to be there to say, hey, Travis, don't like Cody?
John Cena's whole gimmick was he was a rapper. It could have been as simple as John Cena's friends with Travis Scott. He worked with him to screw Cody. I'm not saying I would have done that. My point is, if you wanted him to be a part of this, and you wanted this to all tie in together nicely, The Rock caused a distraction that they never got past. And despite Cena's, I think, really strong work on the mic, it never got past the distraction of The Rock. And that's still there, I think.
Yeah, in hindsight, I liked the promos because both guys can talk and they sound like they mean it, et cetera, et cetera. But besides the opening kick in the balls, really it was Cody Crossroads him twice. And I said the second time, I said, well, this means he's definitely losing because he's laid Cena out twice with no rebuttal whatsoever. But it didn't get there, dog.
They should have had Brandy jump the rail and like spear Travis Scott. That would have got the biggest pop of the night. For real, I think she could take him. Brandy, she's tough.
Oh, she definitely could take him. And now that you've said that, I'm thinking, goddamn, what a missed opportunity. Yeah, but we'll see what Cody has to say for himself, because he's going to have to say something for himself to mitigate any further damage over having the opportunity to keep the goddamn thing and make all the fans happy, and being a sucker and not using it and leaving himself open for the old kicko and the ballso.
Again, it was very reminiscent of AEW Cody, where some of the decision-making was questionable. Of course, this is a produced match, and it's the world title match, the main event of WrestleMania. A lot of people had their hands in it. A lot of people had thoughts in it, but
Cena's had more contact with Cody's balls lately than Brandy has.
Well, there it is. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. New champion John Cena as we are recording. He said that later tonight on Raw, he will destroy wrestling, or let people know how he's going to destroy wrestling. Well, you know, Jim, before we move completely on from this, it has to be noted here, John Cena, never seen with facial hair. I can't remember any time we've seen him with facial hair. And Cody Rhodes had that unfortunate period of time where he had a mustache. And then we never saw him again with facial hair. They need to shave. And lots of other people need to clean up that face and shave. And we know a way that you could do it from people who could do it with you or supply you with the tools to do such things. Our friends at Harry's.
Yes, you are correct, sir, once again. And as a matter of fact, it was Harry himself that talked Cody Rhodes into shaving that mustache. Did you know that? He called him on the phone one day, Harry did, and he said, Cody, no, that is not for you. You need to get that caterpillar off your upper lip. And he sent him a razor and some foaming shave gel, and he shaved that thing right off. And you can too, folks, because Cena not only doesn't have a beard, he doesn't have a mustache. He shaves kind of up over almost to the top of his ears there. You can clean out all kinds of underbrush with our friends at Harry's and their products, because we're just wild about Harry's, and Harry's wild about shaving you. All you got to do, folks, is you go to harrys.com. That's HARRYS.com/JCE. That's where you go. And what you do is you look at their fine products. And right now, if you want to just dip your toe in the water and get a little trials thing going on, then they have a deal where you can get the 5-blade razor. And these are 5 blades that are sharper than a serpent's tooth, German engineered in a factory somewhere in highest Austrian Alps with German people.
We don't know
that are shaving these surfaces down to the sharpest possible.
We make no declarations about who's making this and where they are, because we do not know this information.
Well, they're in Germany. We know that much.
Well, you don't know.
And they look like they're Alp product to me. They're very Alpish.
Alp product?
It's from the Alps. But the blades are sharp, and there's 5 of them inside the little headset there, the cartridge that goes on the weighted, ergonomically designed Harry's handle.
Headset?
And if you've ever had your hand around Harry's handle, you'll know how hard he is to handle. But it's easy for you to handle when you're scraping it across your face. The foaming shave gel and a travel cover. That's what you can get. The razor, the handle, the gel, and a travel cover. $6. Normally it's $10, but now it's $6 at harrys.com/JCE. And then you can perform the shaving ritual upon your face, light some candles, say a few old Celtic spells, possibly conjure up Beetlejuice, and then shave your face, and you will feel so good, so clean, and so slick that you will want to feel that way forever. And you will be hooked. You'll have Harry's on your back. You'll want to shave every time with the Harry's products, including the skin-softening body washes, like redwood and wildlands and stone scents. See, you can smell like wood, trees, and rocks. See, if you're out in the wilderness or you work outside for a living and you have a problem with wild animals, this will disguise your aroma. You'll be immune to rattlesnake bites and raccoon attacks.
No immunity. Let's not promise immunity. That's not one of the things. What Harry's promises you is a good, clean face from a good, clean shave. That's the Harry's way.
Well, but also you'll be like John Cena. The raccoons and the opossums and things, they can't see you because they can't smell you because you smell like a tree. And they've got extra strength, high quality, amazing smelling deodorant for just $5. That way your wife won't be able to smell you. Deodorant that takes all of your odor away. You're completely invisible to the naked nose. Plus, they've got hair and other grooming products that fit your unique look and needs. Let's say, for example, you have 3 ears or a hair lip. They've got things that'll just clip right on there, attachments that'll make it easier to go around your various unique parts. You know, that 3-ear thing is becoming when I went to the fair when I was a kid, they had the cow with the 5 legs. And they don't do that anymore. Boy, he had a leg growing either out of his side or up on his back in between his shoulder blades. And it wasn't done surgically. That was natural. I looked for stitches. But folks, again, you don't have to have surgery to take the hair off your face. You just go to Harry's. And right now, again, the trial set is not $10, only $6 at harrys.com/JCE. And then you can subscribe. You can set up a subscription to these things where they will deliver them to your door, where you don't have to go to the grocery store and you have to take a crowbar or a tire tool to break that fucking cabinet and pry that goddamn anti-security device off the thing so that you can stick it in your pocket and walk out undetected. Don't go through all that fucking rigmarole, folks. Just pay for the shit, but very little here at Harry's. Refills can be as low as $2.
Tremendous.
And that's pretty low.
That's a great deal, and it's nothing but great deals for the listeners from our pals at Harry's. We encourage you to support them. Jim, let's tell them how to support Harry's one last time.
Tell them how to support Harry's. We'll just cup your hands under them and lift them up slightly.
In a nice manner. But
if you'd like to shave your face, then get the trial set from harrys.com by going to harrys.com/JCE. $10 trial set, now only $6. Hurry while they last.
That's right, our pals at Harry's. We have them over here at Last Manor. When I need a shave, when I need a razor, I got mine from Harry's.
How many guys do they send when you need shaved? How many guys do they send over there to do it? Because they've got a guy that's working on my toenails while the other guy's shaving.
Again, that has nothing to do with Harry's. I don't know who you're inviting over or what they're doing.
I may have called the wrong company.
Yeah, I think so.
They provide excellent service.